Welcome, everyone. I'm Professor David Reeser.
Hi, I'm Professor Aaron Moss.
I'm Music Director Steven Strauss.
And I'm Dr. Venustiano Borromeo, and we are the faculty and staff of the theater program at Stockton University.
And this is the Stockton Theater Company Cabaret. We receive wonderful support for exciting projects like this one from our university leadership, including our university president, Dr. Harvey Kesselman, who we are honored to have with us here tonight.
Hello, and welcome to the Stockton Theater Company Cabaret. I'm Stockton University President Harvey Kesselman. I'm also a member of the first graduating class of Stockton University, so my connection to and love for this university goes back a long way. And I'm pleased to see my passion for the university continue here with the great students and faculty of our theater program. Stockton's theater program embodies our university mission and the principles on which Stockton was founded in innovation, community connections, and interdisciplinary studies. The theater faculty are leading the way in bringing Stockton into the modern era, and the students you'll see presenting online tonight created these videos with the help of the faculty and special guests from Broadway and Hollywood who mentored them in the process of writing, producing, filming, and performing these pieces. Unique pieces from each student that speak to the concerns and commitments they are currently facing in our world. So, without further ado, please enjoy the passionate work of our incredible theater students and their devoted theater faculty, who I'll hand it back to now. Enjoy this show, everybody.
Thank you so much, President Kesselman. It's an honor to have you with us, and we appreciate your thoughtful leadership during these difficult times. Considering the onslaught of tumultuous events in the spring and summer in the United States and abroad, we devised the idea for this company cabaret as a means to explore the topics that concern our students and the issues that matter to our community. So we decided to create an atypical process for our production. For instance, rather than hold traditional auditions with just monologues or songs, we held a workshop where any student could participate in a series of prompted writing exercises. We asked students to do research about their specific areas of interest, to write about the work that excites them as an artist, and to brainstorm creative ways to explore the topics that concern them in their self-identified communities, cultures, and more.
We then asked them to research 3 different possible options that they would like to do for this cabaret. We requested that students not just find songs from musicals or learn monologues from stage and screen, but we encouraged them to come up with business ideas that benefit their communities, research organizations that address the issues that plague our country, or write a spoken word piece about their own social concerns. And to no surprise, our students came up with the most captivating ideas and found visionary ways to express them through the performing arts.
Then, over the course of weeks of rehearsals via Zoom, we brought in a diverse group of special guest mentors from Broadway and Hollywood, who you'll hear from, by the way, over the course of this weekend. Multi-talented artists who have played leading roles in your favorite shows, but have also started their own successful businesses, gone to grad school, taught at universities, and generated their own work about issues that matter in our society. So the faculty and these guest artists spent countless hours working one-on-one with our students via Zoom to help craft the work you'll be seeing today and tonight, and to help determine how we might find effective ways to engage you and others in the causes we all care about.
Those causes and themes of this company cabaret include global citizenship, the pandemic, mental health, and justice for Black, Indigenous, and persons of color. This year, students and faculty explored concepts of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging. With diversity, we asked, who's in the room? With equity, we asked, who benefited from being in the room? With inclusion, we asked, how can we be better at who we invite into the room? And finally, with belonging, we asked, how can we be better at ensuring those in the room know that they belong? This detailed self-assessment has led us to a commitment as a program to amplify the voices of Black, Indigenous, and persons of color in our coursework and our productions. The original pieces you'll see tonight have been developed in conjunction with a beautifully diverse company of esteemed guest artists who mentored our students to create the work you'll see tonight.
We also gave our students an opportunity to dive into the causes they care about through the lens of theater production. I worked with award-winning theatrical designer Jay Herzog to help our production students find ways to express themselves through the art and craft of scenic design, lighting, conceptual vision, and much more. So some of the pieces you'll be seeing in tonight's performance are from those students who focused their creative vision towards the technical side of theater.
And what a phenomenal group of Broadway guest artists we've had the pleasure of working with. They were kind enough to donate their time to mentor our theater students and to do a university-wide interview for all of Stockton about their own work as artists, entrepreneurs, and community leaders. You'll hear from each of our guests over the course of this weekend, and we're thankful to them all.
Jimmy Jhetta, who most recently starred on Broadway as the $10 founding father without a father of Hamilton. Basti Monpoint, who's been in 8 original Broadway casts and moreover founded 2 successful startup companies. Jenny Barber, Broadway star of Wicked as Galinda, Joan in The Nance with Nathan Lane, and Lydia in Arthur Miller's All My Sons with Annette Bening. Stanley Bohoric, original cast member of more than 20 world premiere plays and musicals, not to mention Broadway's Spelling Bee, Big River, and the upcoming Broadway production of Sondheim's Company with Patti LuPone. Jay Herzog, the award-winning lighting designer and Townsend University design faculty member. And last, but certainly not least, our guest artist in residence, star of Broadway's Choir Boy and The Inheritance, Jonathan Burke, who you'll hear from later on in our show.
But first, to kick off our evening, please welcome Jimmy Jhetta.
Hello, I'm Jimmy J.J. Jhetta. Thank you for watching the Stockton Theater Company Cabaret. I had the pleasure of working with half a dozen Stockton students that you'll be seeing over the course of the weekend. Now, the students I work with spoke to me about a wide range of concerns and causes, including amplifying Black voices, artists, stories, and moreover, supporting Black lives in our country and in our community. They spoke about gender inequality, political corruption, income disparity, mental health, physical well-being, isolation in a pandemic, and societal changes on social media. The ways they address their concerns vary greatly, but all with the same purpose: to improve our communities at Stockton, in the performing arts, in our families, and in our country. I was really encouraged by so many students speaking with such honesty and bravery about the challenges we face as a society and as individuals, and I'm proud to have worked with each of them to find ways to take action to express their concerns through this artistic media. So with that in mind, my group of students have requested that in lieu of ticket sales for this show, that you please take action or make a donation through the website Black Visions Collective, a Minnesota nonprofit organization dedicated to promoting the agency and protection of Black people. And to learn more about what you can do to become a better ally in pursuit of equality and equity for marginalized groups, please visit guidetoallyship.com. They also ask that you please visit sierrahouse.org, a Black-owned and Black-run non-for-profit organization here in New Jersey dedicated to helping at-risk women gain tools they need to become self-sufficient. You can access all those direct links in the chat at any point through our show or find them at any time on social media at Stockton Theater. Thanks for doing what you can to help us help each other. And now, please enjoy the Stockton Theater Company Cabaret.
Pretty good, right? Whew. Spicy. Wow. Just sauce. I'm not like the other girls in this show. I'm something of a sore thumb. I'm starting to think that I'm different. And I suspect I know how come. My complexion stands out, and my voice does as well. And in case you haven't noticed, I'm Black as hell. It's an obligatory part of every new musical. It's the random Black girl singing. the soul. Every show must have an ensemble. Without it, things wouldn't be right. And every crowd needs at least one person who doesn't happen to be white. Well, that girl is usually me. Feels like I'm just filling a quota. Anytime I ever have lines that yes, I'm in, yes, sir, and no, sir. When it comes to the plot, I play no significant role. I'm just a random black girl singing the soul. So I conduct with my hands, then I scrunch up my eyes, and then I open my mouth unbelievably wide. And at the end of the song, when it's time to let go, I'll give him a dose of my crazy vibrato. Why couldn't I be cast for a part in the color purple? Side of the random black girl singing the soul. My agent gave me advice. Those words I'll never forget. He said, don't think you'll ever be cast as Eponine or Cosette. But I guess things always could be worse. When it comes to my Broadway station, at least I'm not cursed enough to have been born Asian. Then I'd be stuck in Miss Saigon, dancing on a pole, side of a random black girl singing the soul. Designers can't like me, director don't know my name, and the makeup artist thinks that we all wear the same shade, and Mr. Stage Manager thinks I got too much sass, and the customer don't know what to do with my big old black hair. Oh, maybe I should audition for American Idol. They love a random black girl singing a soul. Ooh, yeah. So what does this song change? Well, not a relevant thing. But you gotta be thinking to yourself, goddamn, the sister can sing! Don't you hate when songs are so self-referential? I'm just a random black girl singing the don't stop me now, cause baby, I'm on a roll. I'm just a random black girl singing the I can make an entire phrase out of one syllable. Cause I'm a random black girl singing. Oh, you know I'm singing. You know I'm singing, singing the soul. Black Lives Matter.
After school, the freshman grabs her bag of food for the week, because without it, she won't know the next time she gets to eat. And the sophomore has to stay home because his grandpa's fallen ill. How can he continue school when in his own home time stands still? And the junior rides in the back of the bus, sitting quiet and alone. In normal school, her teacher is the one role model she's ever known. The poor senior hopes for a better year without hearing the word cancellation, because achieving through adversity should call for a celebration. And how can someone new make friends when students are stretched by miles? It's a little harder to show our love when our masks conceal our smiles. For the new theater college grad who feels alone and scared, how can we enter the real world when our theaters are stripped and bare? As a new student teacher in these ever-changing days, I hope my bright-eyed theater kids can change our country's ways. So for the right to live, our black and brown friends shouldn't have to fight. We should all extend a helping hand, especially if our hands are white. I pray we can all join together for a cure and a cause. So one day, we'll look back on a time a virus put our lives on pause.
Hello, my name is Liam James McGettigan, and for the 2020 Stockton Theater Company Fall Cabaret, I'm going to be performing a medley of songs from an EP I'm almost done writing called Most Days. For each song, I'm going to give you guys 3 words that I think provide some insight as to why I wrote the song, meaning, context behind it. And I hope you like it. Thanks. Transitive, hopeless, ineffectual. This is You'd Talk. Talk so marvelously. You would talk from 7 to 3. You would talk exhaustingly and put me down, down for free. And when we come to a bend, you'd say, I'm out, it's the end. Make me pack my bags, look for a friend. But you'd be waiting there, bowed up with 30 arrows to send. This is the end. 'Cause I'm one bend away from broken. Yes, I'm one fall away from frozen. And if I keep the door cracked open, for what am I hoping? Trapped, helpless, addicted. This is stay. When I drive nigh, my crestfall mumbles, forget, be humble, reject that wretched know and tumble. But I can't help it, I just lie. I beg her to stay, but I just want this thing to die. I beg her to stay, but I just want this thing to die. Yes, I need, I need this thing to die. You call me in, though my patience is wearing thin. I just can't help myself but try and satisfy your every whim. The medicine is out that door, but with your touch I'm lying. illusory, backwards, torment. This is once in a while. Then you'd lend me memories and pastimes, broken like a fault line, deadly soft and unkind. But the prospect of that frame, vibrant and perfectly the same, would make me forget my name. Oh. Now it's once in a while that I break down and pull your bloodstained file, and I think I might stay for a while. You're my favorite trial. If I get one more good look at that smile, thank you.
It's September 30th, 10:35 a.m. You were handcrafted from a failed attempt at love. Raspberry-tainted lips, dark chocolate eyes, ghost-colored skin, and spaghetti hair. You say you're unlovable, but it's just you looking in a funhouse mirror. Picnics with green vegetables, freshly cut grass, and a sky with a hue of blue that heaven has only seen. Taking in deep breaths to release your anxieties, but instead of fresh air, you inhaled poison. Back when you were younger, you would say that it was socially accepted suicide, yet here you are. It's September 30th, 10:35 a.m., and you're stuck. Replaying counterfeit memories that only your mental illness understands, forever stuck on the carousel of false hopes and dreams, going around in circle after circle after circle. Maybe on the 300th spin, you'll feel good enough, included, or loved. Beanies, band-aids, and a broken heart goes along perfectly with a mental breakdown and a failed attempt to try. Stuck between giving no fucks and a lot of fucks. You're just stuck standing in front of a mirror and not liking the reflection you see. She's standing there and she's staring at you. She looks like you. She has ghost-colored skin, dark, black, lifeless eyes, and spaghetti hair. Come with me, she whispers as the darkness starts to creep in. You're just stuck, hearing the voices echo inside of your head and the flashbacks start to play behind your eyes. You slide down the wall, clenching your knees and trying to catch your breath. Tears start streaming down your face and they cut your cheeks like a knife. It stings, it hurts, and I'm in pain. Shh. It's okay. She's just your imagination. It's September 30th, 10:35 a.m. You manage to pick yourself back up and stand back in front of the mirror. You still have raspberry tainted lips, dark chocolate eyes, ghost colored skin, and spaghetti hair. Isn't today your 21st birthday? I think it's time to show the world who you really are.
This corrupted government hides behind the lies it makes. It says we're safe, it says we're sound, it says they're proud, but what we found, hidden in the horrible history of the house, is the deaths of the innocent, honest people put in prison, placements and positions that these people don't deserve. Because we don't know how to vote, though we think it's all thorough, based our basis on these faces, pasted in these cases, believe the slickest and the sickest schemes that we hear. Because we don't bother for the proof, we only bother for what's near. Keep the fear burning and confusion keeps on churning. That's what keeps this world turning, because no one thinks to question the loyalty of authority, proper placement on conformity. This is the time of anarchy, because no one follows rules. These laws meant to protect us, but instead they just invade us and encase us in a process of mindset us into thinking that everything's cool. But it's not unless you got the intel that gives you props, and you better not get caught or else your brains will get shot, because you got too much info, put these figures in a freak show, and you can't let out this info with the public, they will all know. People keep on saying yellow, but abuse it to their cello, because they don't know how to act with something worth the while, and everybody stuck on file can keep a thing from these beguiles. As if when I'm running miles is important to their style of attack on the enemy. At this point could be anybody. Everybody's criminal and everybody's cynical and everybody's hiding something so critical. Critics keep on criticizing everybody's crack in mind and anything slightly strange gets reported. That's why every house is boarded up and families keep their kids locked up, because one small slip up everything goes down. No one opens up their mouth, regardless nothing is profound. God forbid they stand up because they'll get shot down. Watching all these little things, these illogical fallacies, these pointless messed up strategies to keep countries conformity is what here has reminded me the whole world is in anarchy.
What am I supposed to do now? Between the anxieties about my expected performance, I began to feel the rising excitement of the hill return. It challenged the knot of terror I felt at the thought of her unknown expectations, at the thought of being tried and found wanting. You are delicate, precise, and easy and excited, bubbling at me in your eyes. I see you fight them. Take hold my empty hand, release your fears through me, and later we'll make love until we fall asleep. The same is true, but I'll make the first move. It's the sophisticated, likely thing to do. And this was different from anything I had done before, like coming home to a joy that I was always meant for. Uncertainty and doubt no longer have a hold, 'cause this was a love like I had never known. We found the movement needed to fit each other. We taste the rainbow and lose track of the color. So simple, not much to rediscover. And the moon shines nicely above her, and I held what she felt as if loving were some task outside myself. Her words were bold And this was different from anything I had done before, like coming home to a joy that I was always meant for. Uncertainty and doubt no longer have a hold, 'cause this was love like I had never known. So this is what I had been so afraid of not doing properly. How ridiculous and far away those fears seem now, letting my own desires guide me. So simple. And this was different from anything I had done before, like coming home to a joy that I was always meant for. Uncertainty and doubt no longer have a hold, 'cause this was love like I had never known.
Hi everyone, I'm Jonathan Burke, star of Broadway's Choir Boy and The Inheritance. I have the distinct pleasure of being this year's guest artist in residence at Stockton University, working with Professor Moss and his students throughout the semester. My work with students entailed diving deep into the topics students care about, such as the effects of the global pandemic on their lives, questioning what it means to be a global citizen, and digesting the effects of systemic racism in this country and abroad. I think their work truly taps into the American zeitgeist. Theater requires that we examine our customs, traditions, and mores, and the effects we as people have on one another. I think the students have done a fantastic job touching on this, with both a critical eye and humor. I'm so very proud of the work these students have done with myself and their other guest mentors, and I hope you're feeling that pride at home too. Our next student up is Malikah Stafford, whose creative piece serves as a strong example of the deep dive each student has done this semester. Please enjoy the rest of the show.
If you can only feel tall while someone else is on their knees, something is wrong with you. Let me rephrase. If you can only feel glorified while someone else is dehumanized, something is wrong with you. Let me rephrase again. If you can only feel alive while someone else shrivels up and dies, something is wrong with you. Brown-skinned, ebony-covered knees, forced to curse the ground for centuries, a cursed ground of oppression, made of hot coals and piercing gravel. Supple, brown-skinned, ebony knees, kneeling through centuries of yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, of going through the back door and walking in sullied gutters, of answering to boy as a man, of being told no and you cannot, of working 4 times as hard to be as good, to end up not being enough, enough, enough. Brown-skinned, ebony knees, kneeling for centuries, scarred, strained, black with decay, sticking to their newfound prayer mat as they pray for the day to stand. On your knees, 1944. Reese was coming from church. She was on the wrong road at the wrong time, with the wrong skin, south of the Mason-Dixon line, a black blemish in a white world that a gang of 6 white boys sought to erase. She was forced to her back, to her stomach, to her knees. No charges were made. The final spit in her face. Nobody cared. The whore was black.
On Your Knees, 2005. Lavina wanted to be just like her daddy. She joined the army, suited up in her camouflage threaded armor, uniformed in supposed solidarity. She wanted to fight for her country. Yet she was the black sheep in the white flock, a black blemish in a white world that her male comrades sought to erase. She was forced to her back, to her stomach, to her knees. Her dead body possessed the scars of torture, yet no charges were made. The final spit of bile on her name, cause of death, suicide. I'm sorry to inform you that your daughter did this to herself. Let me rephrase. Nobody cared. The whore was black. Brown-skinned ebony knees, forced to curse the ground for centuries. You see, I've been trying to stand, but my shackles dig its rusted ridges into my skin. They won't let me. On Your Knees, Boy, 1955. Emmett was visiting from Chicago, a black teenage boy in the throes of puberty, just trying to see his family. In the crown jewel of the Confederacy, Mississippi, where brown skin teeming with melanin was probable cause for suspicion, where brown skin teeming with melanin was a presumed weapon, where brown skin teeming with melanin was the evidence of the absence of innocence. The word of a white woman who cried wolf, who cried black beast, led two white men to kill the beast who sought to feast on a white woman's glorified white sanctity. Let me rephrase. Led two white wolves to drag an innocent black boy on his knees into the darkness of night as they mangled his body, ripped into his flesh, snatched the beats from his still growing chest, threw him in the river like he was nothing but the carcass of a pest. The final spit in his face. The men were both acquitted. His life didn't matter. He was just another nigger. Brown-skinned ebony knees, forced to curse the ground for centuries. 2009. Oscar was at the train station at Fruitvale. With his hands up, he was forced to his knees, then to his stomach. He pled for his life, his young daughter, in his mind, but he possessed skin of the wrong kind. He was shot, living while black, in the back, while the officers checked his shackles, his handcuffs. They were still intact. On Your Knees, 1999. Amadou was in front of his house. His brown skin teeming with melanin was probable cause for suspicion. His brown skin teeming with melanin was a presumed weapon. He was shot, standing while black, 41 times to be exact. 2016. Alton was selling CDs. His brown skin teeming with melanin was probable cause for suspicion. His brown skin teeming with melanin was a presumed weapon. He was shot, selling while black. 2015. Sandra was driving while black, pulled over, detained, and booked for a failed lane signal. Her brown skin teeming with melanin was probable cause for suspicion. Her brown skin teeming with melanin was a presumed weapon. She was found lynched in her cell, a truth that they will never tell. Tamir, shot dead playing while black. Brianna, shot dead sleeping while black. Ahmad, shot dead jogging while black. Philando, Freddie, Eric, Trayvon. Since when did living while black become my death sentence? Since when did I have to count down to my execution? Brown-skinned, ebony-covered knees, forced to cursed ground for centuries. On your knees. I said on your knees. On your knees. I can't get up. I'm trapped on my knees, strangled by the piercing smoke of the burning flesh, of the ever-flowing bloodshed. It's getting hard to breathe. The once supple skin, now scarred, cracked with dried blood. My knees are going numb. I'm becoming numb. Brown-skinned ebony knees, forced to cursed ground for centuries. Cousins, brothers, fathers, mothers. Swing in the trees that sway in the breeze to the melody of Oh Say, Can You See? Calloused hands trapped in rusted chains are placed at the base of whipped backs to keep us from fighting back. Balled fists writhe under the rusted shackles of discrimination, targeted systematic denigration to ignite a proliferation of separation and destruction. The smoke of the burning flesh fills the lungs, choking, gasping as we begin to wheeze, begging to God, uttering George's last words, please. I can't breathe. Brown-skinned, ebony-covered knees, forced to cursed ground for centuries. I hope that one day I'll be free.
What are you without racism? Are you any good? Are you still strong? You still smart? You still like yourself? I mean, these are the questions. It's part of it is, yes, the victim, how terrible it's been for black people.
Life esteem and definition.
If you can only be tall because somebody's on their knees, then you have a serious problem. And my feeling is white people have a very, very serious problem. And they should start thinking about what they can do about it.
Hi, my name is Jhetta Anderson, and I will be performing a spoken piece written by me called My Skin. I hope you guys enjoy watching. My skin. My hair. My eyes. My nose. My lips. My skin. I am a black girl. I am smart, witty, honest. I'm strong. I'm loving, resilient, and, well, sometimes vulnerable. And when I walk down the street with my head held high, I smile with every intent to spread my joy. And somehow, society refuses to receive any of it. My physical attributes are all that they notice. It's too distracting for them. Because to society, it's her skin, that hair, those eyes, that nose, those lips, her skin. Immediately, those very things didn't seem as beautiful to me. Because all the things that I thought was so angelic about me became so hideous. I allowed society's perception of what beauty was to discourage my very own. Because when I looked in the mirror, it was my skin, my hair, my eyes, this nose, these lips, and my skin. Insecurity took my confidence and flushed it right down the drain. Because it didn't matter if I was smart, witty, honest, strong, loving, resilient, and, well, sometimes vulnerable. I just wanted to be accepted in ways, even if it didn't value who I truly was. I wanted my hair thinner, my nose smaller, my lips thinner, my skin lighter. Everything that I had, I didn't want. And now, as a Black woman, I ask myself, who am I truly? Because underneath all of the adopted desires to be different still lives that same Black girl who values her strength, her intelligence, and her love. And is still learning that her physical attributes are bonuses. So when I look in the mirror now, I see my chocolatey skin, my dreamy eyes, my big old cute nose, my luscious lips, and again, who could resist chocolate? And for anyone who needs to hear this, you are beautiful and you are accepted. Everything about you is worth more than anyone could ever comprehend. Thank you.
For me, life in the quarantine has been somewhat normal. I wake up, I go to the nest, as I call my spot on the couch in the den where I'd study on weekends and lounge on weekdays, and then I sit there until it's bedtime. Obviously there are some small breaks, but anyone in my house would attest to the fact that I probably spend 90% of my life there. My father lives in a very different life right now, and worry barely begins to describe it. God, I have so much respect for what he does, even if I don't respect the things he tells me to do. He carries the weight of the whole pandemic on his shoulders. He was the one who put his foot down and made us stay home. He made himself and my mother shower every day in our basement and leave their clothes in the basement contamination area before padding upstairs in a towel. He even went as far as barring us from using the communal bathroom downstairs, restricting everyone to only use the toilet in their room. But he does it all out of love and worry. He has not hugged me for about a month, and it's usually the first thing he does when he gets home from work every day. I am healthy and young, and I am at such low risk, but this man worries so much. And he won't sit back and just make our house safe either. He wants to save the world. The first week of lockdown, he sat silently at dinner as the cogs and gears of his brain turned. This man personally made a plan to maneuver patients in hospital settings to provide care for COVID patients. He then emailed at least half a dozen contacts who have clout in the medical government to tell them how he believes they could help avert this crisis. And when I asked him if he would be on the news, he said, "I hope I'm not." He did this because he worries and he cares. And he still goes to work most days, saving more lives. And he still takes his online business school course that he takes for no other reason than that he wants to more effectively run the practice he's already in charge of. And he still helped me proofread my summer program applications. And he still participates in family games and movies. And he still cut me up a pear and delivered it to the nest where I sit and play Animal Crossing.
You know, I used to think I was terrible at being alone. I would constantly surround myself with people like you, to occupy my hours. If I could have avoided it, I wouldn't have been alone for longer than, say, an hour. I thought the reason my world felt dark was because I was alone with myself. And being alone with myself was the worst thing I could be. It would have my world feeling black and white and leave me feeling lost. It would have me reaching out for anyone to bring back the colors of the world. Different shades of blues and greens and reds and yellows, and for the longest time, these colors were gone. I could never figure out why. I was once able to see all the colors of the world, but now everything was just dull. If I was lucky, I could see faint shades of blue, but even then it wasn't much. It's funny to think that it took me being alone. Truly, alone, for the colors to come back. You know, I noticed it one day. I was able to see these greens and yellows again, and a couple weeks later I could see pinks and purples, and then it was like this entire rainbow had exploded in front of my eyes. I was able to start making new colors. I recognized colors from a long, long time ago. I saw colors that I thought I'd never see again. So it turns out, I'm pretty damn good at being alone. It turns out it was you who made my world lose its color, so if you'll forgive me, I refuse to live in your color-deprived world anymore. I want for us to live in a world where we can be different colors and still complement each other, where you can be red and I can be blue and we can create this entire spectrum of purples, where we do not dull each other's saturation but only add to it, where we are bright and brilliant, different shades of every color in the universe. I know that we can be truly amazing, but you have got to understand something. Things are not going back to the way they were. To me, you were this 1,000-year-old paint that if I so much as breathed in, I would lose my breath and fall to the ground. We're doing things my way from here on out. Because in the gallery that I see us creating together, I see all of the colors that we are smeared onto this canvas to create something truly, truly beautiful.
What's up? I got some questions. This is what I've been wondering. I'm just asking y'all. What if the world is simply a stage where the gods above come to improv as us? What if they came to experience real things? Things like fear, things like pain, things like love. Wouldn't that mean then that the stars above are reflections of the light we're shining now? What if it's your destiny to be happy and the secret to being the God that you are is seeing God in the ones you love most? So to shine as bright as I know you can, just know that you're free to fly and roar like the mighty lion. Could we be the peace, and then we'd feel the peace? Could we be the peace, and then we feel the peace? We're all so far away, it feels so out of place sometimes, but I promise that what you will cherish most about the time you spend here is love. Can we put down all the weapons, put an end to all killing? Can we learn those lessons? This is for the day that we make it, but I have faith today we can make it.
Thank you all for attending tonight's performance of the Stockton Theater Company Cabaret.
If you were moved by tonight's performance, please help us spread the word. It's the same Zoom link every night, and there's a different lineup of students every night. So please come back and bring a friend. And join us for a Q&A before the show on Saturday at 6:30 p.m. for our 3rd annual Experience Theater Day.
And follow us on social media for more details, where you can find links to donate to the organizations and take action toward the causes that our students have spoken so eloquently about tonight. You can also find those links here in the chat box while we roll the credits, or on social media at Stockton Theater.
There you can also find information on our upcoming spring shows, future guest artists, and our end-of-year New York City Industry Weekend. On behalf of the students, faculty, President Kesselman, and our Broadway guest artists, we thank you for attending. Good night, everybody.